thickening. Light was almost gone, a faint orange glow bleeding across the horizon as Eddie and Harper finally arrived at the abandoned farmhouse. It stood silent and dark, a silhouette against the dying day. Eddie, 17, with his familiar green t-shirt and backpack slung over one shoulder, kept his eyes on the compass in his hand. The needle was steady, pointing without a tremor, straight at the house's shadowed doorway. He moved with a practiced alertness, every step measured. Beside him, Harper, also 17, her long blonde hair catching the last rays of sun, was completely absorbed by the tablet in her hands. Her red glasses framed an intense gaze, her expression growing tighter with every swipe of her finger across the screen. "Eddie," she finally said, her voice barely a whisper. "This isn't right." He glanced over, his own green eyes questioning. "What's up?" "There's nothing," she answered, turning the tablet so he could see the blank screen. Literally nothing. No ownership records, no building permits, no satellite history. Bob tried every database I can access, even the deep web archives. It's like this house doesn't exist. Eddie frowned, looking from the tablet back to the imposing structure. It was very real. Weather-beaten wood, a sagging porch, windows like vacant eyes. Tig existed physically, yet in the digital world, it was a ghost. A complete void. This was different from their other investigations. Those places had histories, stories, even if they were dark ones. This place had a past that had been meticulously scrubbed clean. "So it's not just old," Eddie murmured, more to himself than to Harper. "It's invisible." He took a deep breath and started toward the door, which hung slightly ajar. The compass in his palm pulsed with a soft, rhythmic hum. The sound strangely loud in the growing silence of the countryside. As he pushed the door open, a wave of cold, stagnant air washed over them. It was an unnatural stillness inside, the kind that feels heavy, like a held breath. The air didn't move. It just was. The compasses. Hum grew a little stronger as Eddie stepped over the threshold, his boots echoing on the dusty floorboards. The interior was a wreck of peeling wallpaper and decaying furniture. But it was the walls that caught their attention. They were covered in scratches, thousands of them, gouged deep into the plaster. They weren't random marks, they were symbols. Harper followed him in, her eyes immediately drawn to the walls. She adjusted her red glasses, her analytical mind already at work. "Thieves are like the symbols from the old mill," she said, her voice hushed with a mix of awe and fear. "But they're arranged differently. The sequences are all wrong. Or maybe they're not wrong, just a different dialect of whatever this language is." She traced one of the symbols with her finger, careful not to touch the wall itself. "This place isn't just hiding from public records, she said quietly, a chilling realization dawning on her face. "It's been actively removed from them. Wiped. Excised from history." As she spoke, the compass in Eddie's hand began to glow, casting a soft green light that flickered across the strange symbols on the wall, making them seem to squirm and shift. The hum intensified, vibrating through his arm. A heavy pressure settled in his chest. A feeling of being watched not by a person, but by the house itself. A cold dread crept up his spine. They weren't just uncovering a mystery that had been left behind decades ago. They were standing in the middle of something that was still active, something that was, right now, in the process of being erased. And they had just walked right into the heart of it. They weren't just visitors. They were now part of the record that needed to be wiped.